Okay, today we're going to look at factoring quadratics that contain common factors. When we're talking about quadratics, we're talking about trinomials or the difference of squares when you've got an x factor that's got a square in it. You always look for a common factor when you're factoring quadratics. Pulling out a common factor is always the first step to do when you're factoring trinomials or a difference of squares. Okay, so let's look at this one. You got 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. And you just look at all three things and you think, is there a number that goes into it? And you can see that 2 goes into all of these things. Well, then the common factor is 2. All you do is put that 2 on the outside of a bracket and then put the other factors inside that are going to make it multiply out to equal this. So if you put x squared here, 2 times x squared gives you 2x squared. If you put 5x here, 2 times 5x will give you the 10x. And if you put 6 here, 2 times 6 gives you the 12. Okay, well, that's the first step. You've taken out a common factor of 2. To do the next step, you bring down the 2 because that's a common factor. It's part of your answer. It's got to be there. And then you just do this x squared plus 5x plus 6 like we learned in the last section. You write down x and x, the only way you can get x squared. And now the last two numbers have to multiply to equal 6. So you could put a 1 and a 6, but it wouldn't give you the right answer. You choose 3 and 2 because when you do the multiply the inside and the outside, you'll get 3 times x. And the outside one is x times 2, which is 2x, and that 3x and that 2x combined to equal the 6. So it's got to multiply to equal the number in front of x, and it's got to add up. Sorry, it's got to multiply to equal the number on the end, and it's got to add up to equal the number in front of x. That's the story. Okay, these are just more examples of the same thing. The first step here, and you're going to get these notes, so you can look over this slowly yourself. You look for a number that goes into everything, and you see, hey, anything that ends in a 0 or a 5, that means 5 goes into it. And if you take it out, 5 times x squared, 5 times minus 7 gives you the minus 35. 5 times 30 gives you 150. Then you bring down the 5, and you just factor this trinomial. 10 minus 10 times 3 gives you the minus 30, and minus 10x plus 3x gives you minus 7x, and the x times x is x squared. Here you've got, we can look at question 2 here. You see that 5 goes into 5 and 45, so you write it in front. 5 times x squared, 5 times minus 9 is the minus 45, and then you factor the difference of squares. If you've got 2 things that are squared, you can take the square root of each thing and you get your answer right away. X minus 3, x plus 3 is your answer. Remember to bring down the 5. This one here, there is 2 going into everything, but you'll see there's an x in everything. So the common factor is 2x you write down. 2x times x squared gives you the 2x cubed. 2x times minus 5x gives you the minus 10x squared. And 2x times minus 14 gives you minus 28x. Then you just factor this trinomial. 7 times 2 gives you the 14, and minus 7 times positive 2 gives you minus 14. And minus 7x plus 2x, that gives you the minus 5x. Multiplies to equal negative 14, combines or adds to equal minus 5. And the last one, I see that I have to factor this 4a and 4b. I can see 4 goes into both, so I write it this time to the right of the bracket. So I make it 4x squared, and then write a plus b down. And that kind of works. Now the next thing, hey, now I see that a plus b and a plus b is in both of these. It's the common factor. So I write it down once. And there's 4x squared. A plus b times 4x squared gives me that part. A plus b times minus 9 gives me this, minus a plus b times 9. Then I write down the a plus b again, The difference of squares, square root of 4x squared is, oh, there's a missing 2x there. There should be a 2x here. It should be 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. A plus b times 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. That'll be fixed up in your notes when you get that. And I think that's just about all for today. Okay.